Good morning, Terrific Titans. It is story time, and this story is for our second through fourth graders. We're going to read the Survival Series for Kids, and this is what the first book looks like. And this one is called What to Do When Your Mom or Dad Says, Be Careful. What do you do when your mom or dad says, be careful? It's a good question, but we're going to find out by reading this book. Again, what to do when your mom or dad says, be careful. And it's written by Joy Berry. And the pictures are by Bartholomew. Has your mother or father ever told you to be careful? Have they ever told you that? Mine has. Mine still tells me that, and I am grown. At least I think I am. When your parents tell you to be careful, do you wonder? It sounds familiar to you. You're going to love this book because the book is going to tell you exactly how to be careful. So here it says, what do they mean? What am I supposed to do? What do they mean when they say be careful? And what am I supposed to do to be careful? Why? Why do I have to be careful? Why? Well, safety at home. Be careful with electricity. You can prevent electrical shocks if you take certain precautions. Do not drape an electrical cord across a heater, bathtub, or sink. Do not stretch an electric cord across an area where people must walk. And do not turn an electrical switch on or off or plug a cord into a socket with wet hands or while standing on a wet floor. Look at the things that could happen. You could trip. You see that? I don't think this is a safe place for frogs. Look at the frog. The frog is tripping over the cord. So we have to be careful where we lay our cords and where we put those things, right? Do not plug more than 2 appliances into a double wall socket. If an appliance blows a fuse when you turn it on or plug it in, unplug it immediately. Do not probe appliances with a metal knife, fork, or other instruments while they are plugged in. Always unplug appliances before cleaning or adjusting them and after you have finished using them. Pull plugs from the sockets by the plug only, not by the cord. See what happens? Zap! Sparkle. It says, maybe this isn't a good idea. Maybe it isn't, right? No kidding, because sparks flew. So maybe that just was not a good idea. Be careful with gas. You can prevent explosion and or inhalation of toxic fumes if you turn a gas appliance off if a flame does not appear 3 to 5 seconds after turning it on, and notify an adult immediately if you smell gas fumes. So fumes, if you have gas stoves at your house, sometimes we smell funny things, but you guys are too young. You shouldn't be messing with the stove anyway unless you have adult supervision. Says, well, it's been about 30 minutes. Maybe this stupid thing is broken. So you don't want to wait 30 whole minutes. You want to let somebody know immediately, and you want to turn it off immediately so that there are no problems. This one says, hey, Mom, the gas stove won't light. Kaboom! Never mind. What happened? An explosion. Because somebody was messing with the gas stove and they shouldn't have been. So make sure you let somebody know immediately and you turn it right off. Be careful with fire. You can prevent fires if you do not play with matches or lighters and notify an adult immediately if you see anything that could possibly start a fire. Fires are often caused by unattended lighted cigarettes, defective heating equipment, too many plugs in one socket, frayed or taped wires, combustible materials left or stored too close to an open flame, careless storage of cleaning products or fuel, petroleum products. Uh-oh. What's red, clangs, has a ladder, and you'd better call fire! Fire! So you want to be careful around things that could cause a fire. Be careful with heat. You can prevent burns if you do not touch anything when it is hot, such as a stove or a heater, and use mittens or pot holders when you handle anything that is hot. Now you're cooking. Hey, watch out. Check that out. Watch out. Be careful. How many of you cook with your parents at home? So when you cook with your parents, do you let them handle all of the hot stuff? My daughter is 13 now, and she still lets me handle most of the hot stuff. And if something is popping, she will get out of the way because she does not want to get burned. So you can be careful with heat, and you can avoid being burned by being cautious, by using the proper utensils, or just by letting an adult handle it. When cooking, always turn pot handles toward the center of the stove. This will prevent anyone from accidentally knocking the pot off the stove. So when you cook, you want to turn the pot handles inside so that one of your younger siblings can't come and grab the pot handle and knock it down, because hot stuff can burn, right? Be careful with water. You can prevent burns if you adjust the water temperature before stepping into a tub or a shower. And check the temperature before you immerse your hands in hot water, such as water running from the tap or dishwasher. You can prevent falls if you use a rubber mat when bathing or showering, or place decorative non-skid decals on the floor of the bathtub or shower. Pick up soap bars and soap pieces from the tub and floor. Rinse out the tub after use to remove slippery soap film, and wipe up a wet floor. Now we have a picture. It says, looks hot enough to cook a lobster in. I'm not getting in. The lobster said he didn't want any parts of that. So if you see your water steaming like that, you might want to test it before you get in to avoid being burned. Be careful with medications. You can be sure that you do not take too much or the wrong kind of medication if you do not take medication of any kind without adult supervision. I'm going to say that again. Do not take medication of any kind without adult supervision. If you're going to take medicine or you need medicine, make sure that an adult is with you and they give you the medicine. You don't just take it on your own. It is best if you do not take medicines which have been prescribed for someone else, or you do not take medicines in the dark, and you check the label before taking any medications. So we have a picture here. It says, I'll just take a couple of these. They should help my headache. Polywog pills is what they were called. Yeah, if you were a frog. So the polywog pills were meant for frogs. So she couldn't read that label, or she didn't read the label to know that. But you want to be very careful when taking medications and make sure that it's something that's safe for you to take. Be careful with clutter. You can prevent accidents if you remove toys and equipment from floors, stairs, walkways, and driveways. Keep walkways and steps free of ice and wet leaves, and remove all broken glass and rubbish in and around the house. Be careful with steps, stairs, and ladders. You can prevent falls if you use only well-lighted steps and stairs, and use a sturdy support like a step stool or ladder when reaching up to high places. Look at that. Oops, because they had stuff everywhere. Some of your rooms probably look like that, right? So you want to get those rooms picked up and keep them clean and tidy so that you won't have any accidents. You can avoid all accidents by picking up behind yourselves. Be careful with dangerous things. Do not use any of the following items without adult supervision: aerosol or spray cans, chemicals, knives and other sharp kitchen utensils, razors, dangerous recreational equipment, electrical appliances, tools, matches or cigarette lighters, explosives or fireworks, guns. Also, do not play in or around a vehicle such as a car or a truck. You want to be careful of all of those things because it can be kind of dangerous. You see this? She said, I'm getting off this page before he blows up. Look at that. The frog said, I got to go because they're doing all kinds of stuff that they should not be doing, hanging around cars and different things, and anything could happen. So the frog has a lot of sense, right? That frog is very smart. So that frog said, I am getting out of here. Safety at school. Be careful on the way to and from school. When you leave for school, go directly to the school. When you leave for home, go directly home. Do not stop along the way. Do not use a different route than usual unless your family or school knows of your plans. Now, we're really good about that. I have some kids that have come up to me and say, I'm going to walk home today. But they don't usually walk home. So what happens? Before I allow that child to leave, I contact the parent to make sure that that's what the directive the parent has given is. So before we allow kids to walk home, especially by themselves, we make sure that we contact parents to make sure that that is okay and that that is the family plan. Be careful at school. To ensure your safety and the safety of others, your school has established rules, and we have. That is one of the reasons why I call home before I allow people to walk away. There are rules for indoor areas, such as the classroom and the cafeteria, outdoor areas, such as the playground and the parking lot, outings and special events, and emergency procedures. So it is important for you to know how these rules are and to cooperate with them completely. So we can talk about that as the fire drills. When we do those fire drills, the rules that we leave the building quickly, we stay with our class, and we make sure that everybody is accounted for. And when it's time to return in, we do that in an orderly fashion as well. So our picture says, uh-oh, how is anyone going to find me? This isn't my usual route. I should have stayed home. See, they took a different route. Now they're lost. Has that ever happened to anybody? I can tell you that it sure has happened to me. I used to walk home as a kid, and one day I got caught up talking and playing with my friends, and I took a different route. And I ended up getting lost, going through a different neighborhood. Somebody was nice enough to walk me to the nearest store, and I could find my way home from there. But had I gone my usual route, that would not have happened, and I wouldn't have been scared, alone, and afraid. So, because I didn't do what I know that I'm supposed to do, I created a whole world of trouble that did not have to be there. If I had kept my route that I normally take, that wouldn't have been a problem. So now we're going to talk about safety in the community. Be careful when you are a pedestrian. Pedestrian means a person that's walking. So be careful when you're walking, because you want to make sure that you look both ways before you cross the street, and you want to make sure that cars aren't coming. Some of you guys have these nifty phones that you guys love, and what I see is you guys walking and looking down at those phones. So make sure you're not doing that when you're crossing the street, because you want to maintain safety. It says wear light-colored or reflective clothing when you walk in the dark so that drivers can see you. Watch for vehicles in the driveway, alleys, and parking lots. Before you walk behind a vehicle, be sure it's not moving. Always be alert and be prepared to stop. Never rely on anyone else to see you. Look at that. Because they were looking down, reading. They're about to get hit, right? So you have to be careful and be alert of your environment and your surroundings. Do not accept a ride from a stranger. Choose the safest route when planning your walk. A safe route is one with sidewalks, traffic signals, and marked crosswalks. If there is no sidewalk, walk facing the traffic. Now, you do have to be careful with that, especially with accepting rides. Don't accept rides from anybody you don't know. And sometimes you have to be really leery about some of the people you do know, because you don't know what's going on. So unless it's somebody that your parent has given you permission to ride with, do not accept a ride from them. We just talked about this. Look both ways before crossing the street. When you are certain that there is no vehicle coming, walk. Don't run across the street. Cross the street at an intersection where drivers expect to see pedestrians. Use crosswalks whenever possible. On a street with several lanes, cross one lane at a time. Make sure that the traffic in each lane stops for you before you proceed. So make sure you're aware of where you're going, make sure you're watching, and make sure that the cars aren't coming so that you don't get hit. A pedestrian signal changes from walk to don't walk. When the signal says walk, you may cross the street if there are no vehicles coming. If there is a traffic signal instead of a pedestrian signal, cross the street when the light turns green. Be sure that there are no vehicles coming before you proceed. At intersections without signals, wait for the vehicles to stop before you cross the street. Do not try to make vehicles stop for you by stepping into the street in front of them. Make sure drivers see you. Do not walk in front of a vehicle until you see the driver looking at you. Be careful when you're riding a bike. You can prevent accidents if you learn how to ride your bicycle with skill and coordination, and practice riding in safe places such as your own backyard, your driveway, a playground when it is not crowded, a street that is closed to traffic. Keep your bicycle in good condition. Make sure that your bicycle is equipped with a light and an approximate number of reflections if you plan to ride in the dark. Do not ride your bike in heavy rains or snow or when the roads are icy. Wear light-colored or reflective clothing when riding in the dark. You want to make sure people can see you. Do not hitch rides on moving vehicles. Do not carry passengers on your bike. Put all parcels, books, or packages in the basket or the rack. Keep your eyes directed to the road and be ready for emergencies. Always ride on the right side of the street. Always give pedestrians and motor vehicles the right of way. Obey all traffic signs and signals. Always use proper hand signals to let them know what you intend to do. When crossing the streets, proceed as you would if you were a pedestrian. Look both ways, cross at intersections, and use crosswalks. Walk your bike across busy streets and intersections. Never ride out in the street from between parked cars or from alleys or driveways without stopping to look for oncoming vehicles. Never weave in and out of traffic. Never pass a bike or other vehicle or on a hill, curve, or intersection. Ride in a single file when riding in a group. Be careful when you're a passenger. You can prevent accidents if you do not distract the driver of a car or bus by talking too loudly or being too active. Do not put your head or arms out the window of a moving vehicle, and always wear your seatbelt when riding in a car. Be careful around dangerous places. Be careful in and around dangerous areas. It is best to have an adult accompany and supervise you when you are in these places. Animal trails, caves, driveways and parking lots, high places, places where large machines are stored, unexplored, uninhabited areas, streets and highways, bodies of water. So make sure that you are accompanied by an adult when you're in those types of places. Safety while on vacation. Be careful when you are swimming. You can avoid a swimming or diving accident if you learn to swim as well as possible. If you are a non-swimmer, do not rely on a safety device to keep you afloat in deep water. Make sure that an adult who swims or a lifeguard is around whenever you swim. Know how deep the water is before you dive into it. Be careful when swimming in lakes, rivers, or oceans. Current, uneven depths, surf, and submerged rocks require special swimming skills and extra caution. Always have another person with you whenever you go swimming. Be careful when you are camping and hiking. Learn the rules and regulations that have been established for the area in which you are camping or hiking. Then cooperate with the rules completely. Do not explore the area without a guide. Do not wander off by yourself. Learn to identify and avoid poisonous plants, dangerous insects, and other dangerous animals. The end of your mom and dad having to say, be careful. Woo! That was a lot, wasn't it? But we do have to pay particular attention and we do have to be careful, especially when we're by ourselves. We have to make sure that we're taking precautions to make sure safety is our number one priority. Have a great day, guys. Miss you.